Today we're going to learn about Nixie Star Shimmer, a recycled fairy, and another forest guardian. Nixie inspired all those around her to see the world differently, to find potential in the unwanted, and to remember that even the smallest act of recycling can contribute to the magic and health of our planet. Welcome back to Dephemerember 2023. It's December 19th and we are tackling today's prompt, Recycled Fairy. It's Barbara from Vienna, Austria, and I'm co-hosting this series with my dear friend Luise Heinzel, making fun ephemera in December. If you're new here, please check the link in the description box with all the information you will need to catch up, including freebies and other printables, as well as the playlist for Dephemerember. So these are the recycled materials that we found in the forest. So these are going to become part of our fairy. And to facilitate this, I have another freebie for you. So I have these two forest girls. They're not fairies yet. We have to make them into a fairy. You can find this freebie in my general Dephemerember landing page link under the freebie category for Dephemerember. So there's two versions here. She already looks very glamorous. She looks like she's ready to go to ball. And she looks like she still needs a transformation. Both would work for what I have in mind. I think I'll go with this one because the challenge on this one I think is a little bit bigger to make her into a real glamorous fairy. Once upon a time in a lush green forest, there was a unique fairy named Nixie Star Shimmer. Unlike other fairies, Nixie wasn't born from a blossom or a dewdrop. She came to life from a piece of discarded packaging forgotten in the woods. Over time, the magic of the forest transformed this piece of waste into a charming fairy with a dress made of the most exquisite recycled materials. Nixie had a special gift. She could touch any piece of litter or discarded material and transform it into something beautiful and useful. With a gentle touch, plastic wrappers turned into vibrant petals, and scrap paper became delicate wings. She became a guardian of the forest, teaching humans and creatures alike the importance of recycling and taking care of the environment. Every night, Nixie Star Shimmer would dance under the moonlight, her dress shimmering with the colors of the recycled materials she had transformed during the day. Her existence was a gentle reminder that beauty can be found and created from what is often overlooked or discarded. If you like this image better and you don't enjoy fussy cutting all the hair strands, feel free to leave like a border and just cut around it, or even cut some of the strands off. She doesn't need to have all of these strands flying, or just use this image. I think this one is a bit easier to cut around the hair. As you can see, I cut off the bottom part because we will be making our own skirt here from our recycled materials. But first I'm going to ink her up gently with walnut stain all around. I don't like the white edges showing. So this gold foil is from a chocolate. I want to see if I can iron this a little bit. So let's cut out some leaf-like shapes. They shouldn't all be the same, so I think they should be different sizes maybe, and a little bit different shapes. But this is kind of like what I am looking for. I don't know yet how many we're going to need. I guess they all kind of have a similar shape and size. That's okay. Next, I'll do the same with this packaging. This is from another chocolate. That's my favorite chocolate. Then we have this placemat from a pizza restaurant. And lastly, we have this packaging here. Let's cut this apart. So I have 4 piles of leaves now. I want to color these white ones, and I'm going to use my Distress Ink Forest Moss because she has a green skirt here as well. And of course you could use spray if you have one. I actually have one, but I wanted to show you an alternative. So if you have an ink pad, you can just smoosh it. And then we just take a wet paintbrush and we just color these. Obviously you can use watercolor or acrylic paints as well. A shimmer spray, like a mica spray, would also be absolutely gorgeous. Then I'll smoosh some more. I've cleaned it in the meantime because I didn't want to get my ink pad wet. I'll add a little more water. I dried these in the meantime, and now I'll add a little more on one side. And then we can clean the brush and just blend that down a little bit. It will depend what substrate you use. I'm using a cardboard that is very porous, so actually now it's very hard to get rid of that line. Yeah, that just looks blotchy. Okay, so in this case, we'll just make the whole leaf darker, no problem. Just go with the flow. They're all dry, and now I'm going to ink around them with forest moss just to give them a little more definition. So here's the comparison with and without the edging. They're all inked up, and I wanted them to have some veins. So my first thought was to just use some colored pencil and draw the veins. But now I just had a bit of a crazy idea. So I'm going to cut a strip of this paper. And then I'm going to very lightly glue the leaves just so that they don't fall off onto this strip. This is an idea that one of you wonderful viewers gave me in another video where I couldn't sew. Oh, what was it? It was a tiny piece I was trying to put under the foot of my sewing machine, which didn't fit there. And she had suggested to attach them to some paper and then sew through it and then tear away the paper. That is brilliant. So that's what I'm going to try. Because I think it would look really cool to have the stitching through the leaves. Okay, moving to my sewing machine. Step 1 was a success. They look absolutely great with the sewing. Now the question is, can we remove the paper? That is probably the bigger problem. Of course, don't want to tear out the stitching. Oh, no, I cannot just tear it, but maybe I can cut it off. Yeah, that should work. If I just cut more narrow than the leaf, then that's going to work. Yeah, that way I don't have to destroy my sewing. And there we go. It's brilliant. Thank you so much for that idea. So I'll cut all of these. If you currently do not have a sewing machine, or you have one even and you're afraid to use it, I can just really recommend you to give it a try, or to maybe you can find one secondhand if you don't have one currently, or maybe get a small one, because it adds so much in the world of junk journaling. I cannot imagine junk journaling life without a sewing machine in the meantime, and I knew nothing about sewing. Even though my mom was a really good seamstress, I was not. I was never interested in it until I discovered paper sewing. And believe me, you will be able to learn the basics. Like, you just have to sew a straight stitch. That's all you need to add such unique touches to your projects and to your journals. And there's so many YouTube tutorials, beginner tutorials for sewing. So get your sewing machine out and just try. So these leaves look amazing now. I'm so happy with them. I'm wondering if I should do it for any of the other leaves. These I can't really adhere to paper because we're going to see the glue. These are too flimsy. I don't think the gold need them. And these actually have some print on them, so I'm okay with them not having the stitching through them. But I will ink around these with walnut stain. Changed my mind. I'm using ground espresso because these are already quite dark and you wouldn't really see the walnut stain on the edges. If you have alcohol inks, you could of course color these bits. I think I like the thought of just leaving them plain and as see-through as possible. So I think all of my leaves are ready to go. So now we need to think about what size the whole image should be. So taking our journal page that we made yesterday into consideration. Oh, by the way, can I just show you? I looked at this. It's still not dry. You see here and here. Is it ever going to dry? I don't know. I guess it's sealed quite well and the air isn't getting to it, but hopefully one day this will dry. Okay, so we have this beautiful background already. Maybe I'll add her in a belly band. I don't think I'm just going to glue her on, although that would be another option. But in any case, we need to consider that she shouldn't be higher than here, and her skirt needs to end somewhere here, so it can't be too long. So I have a piece of cardstock here, which we can use as the base for the dress. So I'll cut that off here, so the dress should not be longer than that. So let's glue her onto this base, and that will help us as a guide. We can cut this down. The only thing is that if this is white, of course, these now will show a little bit of white through. Of course, we're going to layer these, but there will be some white peeking through, which I don't want. So let's paint this with our forest moss. Let's try adding some water to the cardstock first, in the hope that it will blend a bit better. This is also quite a porous surface. Okay, but at least now it's not white. So this is dry now, and I'm just going to start layering these leaves on. Obviously, I should not use the see-through ones here on the top, because obviously I don't want to see this line. Actually, I'll start further up here, and I'll actually glue them down right away. And I'm just going to add glue to the top because I do want them kind of loose. So the top row actually needs like a straight edge. Oh, we could always add like a ribbon or something on top to cover whatever is very uneven. So there's a gold one. But the gold ones are a bit tricky because they are so flimsy. I think those I would have to glue down all the way because they would tear. Whoops! Oh no, 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 no. Oh no! They will tear otherwise. Okay, all good. So I'll add a gold one. And a green one. Yeah, we'll have to cover this part up with something. We'll do another brown one. Oh, I'm doing this wrong. I'm just realizing I need to start from the bottom because how else am I going to get the other ones underneath? Oh my goodness. Have you been yelling at the screen? So especially this gold one here that's glued down all the way. I need to move that up before that is totally stuck. Oh my goodness. What are you doing, Barbara? Effie, why didn't you tell me? You have no idea what's going on here. And just glue the top. Whoops, no. I keep dropping these. Okay, that goes here. Okay, this way they're all loose here in the bottom and I can still add the row underneath. But I really do need to start from the bottom. Figuring things out as we go. It was obvious that it wasn't going to work out just like that. I'll cut this a little bit shorter because I don't want it showing through the leaves, obviously. Here, oh no, here I also can't put these because we'll see the line. So these can only go in the middle. Oh wow. And these, of course, are actually too delicate to go on the bottom like this unless I glue them onto whatever substrate I'll put her on. Yeah, that I can do. There's a lot more planning involved than I realized. I might actually have to make some more leaves. I thought there were plenty, but I'm not so sure now. Yeah, I think I especially don't have enough of the green ones. I don't think I'll be making more of those. It would have been much smarter to adhere the gold foil onto cardstock. Then I wouldn't have to deal with it being so flimsy now. And now I'm too lazy to redo them with the cardstock stock, so it's just going to have to work out somehow. So please learn from my mistakes. Okay, here in the middle, not on the sides, we can add these see-through ones. Let's start off with the gold one. Okay, now we can we can take a see-through one. Of course, we'll see the glue through, but if I only glue it on the top, that will probably be covered later by another leaf. I'm glad I added the green underneath. Yeah, definitely should have made more of those green leaves. The see-through ones look like there's a hole there. You know what I mean? It looks like I didn't even add one here. So maybe I do need to color them with alcohol ink because otherwise they're not actually visible. Okay, let's take you off again. I have plenty of them, so let's try that. I have one here by the company Maribou, and this one is called Metallic Gold. You need to shake it up well before you use it. And if you have a white mat like this here, the alcohol ink apparently stains that. So I put my pieces on a paper towel. I know they're very hard to see. Let's try this. Whoops. Is that even staying on? This is acting, I think, a bit differently to the ones I know by Tim Holtz. And now it's clogged up. No. Let's try Tim Holtz one. This one is butterscotch. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That is much better. Timmy for the rescue. That's a whole nother story. Wow. I don't want to be unfair here. Look, this is the Marabou alcohol ink, so it's definitely on there. But, I mean, you can see the difference here, right? Do not dry these with your heat gun because they will melt. But thankfully, because of the alcohol, they dry very quickly. So these are ready to go now. So let's try this again. Hopefully this will look better now. Mission accomplished. Oh, that looks so cute. I'd say definitely worth the effort. Wasn't even that much effort actually. Maybe with one more row we'll have enough. Effie, we did it! Oh, she's so cute! I love it! So how about we make her a golden belt? This time we'll be a little smarter. We'll attach the gold foil to some cardstock. Okay, so we need a belt. So that can go around like this. And then we could give it like a fancy shape. I know you couldn't see anything now, so it's kind of a shape like that. We want to give her a flattering waist. It's too wide. But she's still a forest girl. She's not a fairy yet. I mean, I have these bits left here. I guess they could make fairy wings, but I think they will be too small. Let's put her on a white background so that we can see them better. They would be okay. Not so bad, but I think we can do better. We can always come back to these. I do have some more of this plastic left over. Let's see if I can draw some better wings. I hope this is gonna work. Yeah, I definitely want them bigger. And then we need another one. Oh, that's way smaller. I'll cut this big one out and then use that as a template. That definitely looks more like a fairy wing to me. You cannot see anything, I realize that. Yeah, I like this one. So now do I have enough left? Yeah. So I'll trace around this. I'm going to try this one again from Marabou because I really just want them shimmering. Like I don't need them to be as dark as these leaves here. I want to be able to see through them. So hopefully this will work better. It's a few minutes later and these are almost dry. In the meantime, we can figure out what to put her on. And I thought this might work really well. It's a 200 GSM or 115 pounds beige cardstock. I don't want a very busy background. I will obviously want to add a little bit of interest. First, let's decide on the size. I changed my mind about the belly band because if we stick her into a belly band, we're going to cover her and I want to see her. So instead, I think I'll make a tuck spot, probably here on this side. So that means she can be tucked in approximately until here. So yeah, we don't even need it to be that wide, but yeah, we need to take it in account that we'll have the wings. Although then again, it doesn't really matter if the wings go outside of the card. That would be totally fine. Maybe even a fun feature. Let's see what that would look like. So if we add our wing, oh yeah, they look good with this, I think. And actually it would look really cute if they peek out. Okay, so let's do that. Let's make a narrow card then. Like this, and the height, let's do till here. And actually I'll make it into a tag again because I just love tags. So I think I'm ready to glue her wings on. Oh my goodness, she's so cute. You know what, they're more glossy on the side where I didn't add the alcohol ink, so I will turn them around. Aww. So I have an idea for the background. As you can see here, I have some fun stamps. These are again by PM Artist Studio. Again, I will link the promo code for orders of $35 or more for 10% off below with the website. And these here are called Flower Meadow. And I'm going to use peeled paint distress oxide because I think it will be light enough to give some interest but not distract too much from our beautiful fairy. So let's try this. I'm so excited. We should be more random. Let's not overthink this. Oh, so cute. Is it too much? No, it's not too much. Oh, I didn't stamp that one very well. Bummer, and that's in a very exposed area. I'm usually not good at going over them. Oh, not even so bad. Okay, we won't see any really here in this area. Okay, I'm being very strategic now. It is what it is. I can't help myself. Something up here. Is this a heart? Oh, it's a heart. How cute. Let's put the heart over her heart. Yes. Okay, we still need something up here. Let's do another one of these. That's right, Effie, we definitely need some gold splatters. So I'm using my Ice Ink dye spray by Seth Apter called Gold Mine. If I could only aim to get them on my tag. I feel like it's still too plain, so I'm going to use my Forest Moss Distress ink. Add some water. And hopefully we can get some splatters out of this. Yeah. By the way, another tip, if you use a heat gun to dry your substrate, like a cardstock, lift it up while you're drying it, because that way the heat can pass through and it won't curl as much as if you have it laying down. That's something else I learned in a Tim Holtz live video. So this is dry. Yeah, now I like it. It's very cute. So next I'll ink up the edges, front and back. Actually, this time I will use Forest Moss. Or maybe both, we'll see. So I've added the Forest Moss all around. I'm happy with that, but it needs a little more warmth. So I'm going to add some walnut stain with this makeup brush, because that will be more subtle. And we can still get a little bit of warmth. I mean, the beige is warmth, but I kind of want the edges to be even warmer. So you see we have this very soft edge now. So it's time to glue down our fairy. So coming back to our journal page, I want to make a tuck spot here, and I will do that using the same fabric that I used for the background, which was this Tim Holtz Wallflower Botanical fabric. And I want to use this piece here that has the green. Let's take this white strip off. Definitely keeping this part. Oh, maybe, I don't know. Would this work? To put a tab. It's kind of white, isn't it? Maybe if I dyed this with coffee. I'm not sure. I will keep that in mind. So we'll tear it here. I considered using these butterflies, but I think they would get too much attention. I want all my attention to be on our recycled fairy. And I will be backing this with cardstock because I think it's not going to have enough strength to hold the tag otherwise. So let's tear it there. And then I'll cut a round shape. Let's try to fray that a little bit. Then I take a piece of cardstock and I can trace this and cut a little bit inside of that shape. Yep. I'll glue this on just like I glued on this page, and I will also sew around this. So here we go. And now we can just glue on those two sides. And yes, Effie, again, you are right. This needs gold splatters as well. I'm not going to add anything on top here because it would just distract from her charm. But what I am going to do is use this white part here as a base for our recycled fairy label, which of course comes from the bigger version of the prompt list. That can go here. Do we want to add these leftover leaves? No, we do not. Okay, let's glue it down. So finally, Nixie, our recycled fairy, can go on her eco-friendly mission to inspire those around her that even the smallest act of recycling can contribute to the magic and health of our planet, right, Effie? And a new problem that I'm discovering here is that these rings are slowly but surely getting too small. You see this? And we have still a few prompts to go. It is becoming quite bulky. But having said that, I just love the feel because I do have quite a bit of fabric in here. And it just feels so yummy. Also with this fabric cover, I am beyond happy with this choice. Recycled fairy. So tomorrow we have vintage meets modern, and then we get another 3-day break. I'm actually heading over to some Christmas markets later today to meet some of my friends. And if you're interested in seeing what our magical Christmas markets look like, I actually have an old vlog. I think it's been even 3 years, but the markets are just as beautiful. I hope you enjoy this little preview to get you into the Christmas spirit.
While the snow is gently falling, we keep busy until late, 'cause tomorrow keeps on calling, and the red man will not wait. So we better get to move on. Let's bring on the evergreens. Keep the chimney clean, you know what I mean, 'cause tomorrow is the day. I can hear the sleigh bells ringing, how they're headed for our house, and the radio keeps singing what the season's all about. From upstairs we hear the laughter from the ones that waited long for the socks to fill, but they won't until the birth of Christmas Day.
So I will link that vlog for you below in case you want to see the magic of Christmas in Vienna. But first, let's go watch Luise's video together. Right, Effie? Love you guys. Mwah, mwah.